We are back, guys. It is time indeed for the second map here between Lilmix and Orgles. And the first one was, I'm going to put it this way, it was eventful. Do you agree, Overseard?
To say the least, it was very eventful and very much up and down and just a hectic, chaotic game, to say the least. Or map, excuse me.
I mean, you're correct with game as well.
I guess, yeah.
It was definitely chaotic also, that has to be said. Even just the way that it ended, obviously, with towards the end, Lilmix unfortunately dropped into an eco, and it looked like they were going to be able to pull off a comeback of their own and maybe make up for a little bit of the showing that they had earlier on today. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, of course. We've ended up now here on Inferno, where Lilmix are going to be feeling good about the possibility now of the 2-0. You definitely do have to say. It's not set in stone by any means. This is actually the map choice, of course, of Orgles, but it's one that Lilmix have played a little bit. They only played it 3 times. They've won one of those times, I believe. But it was a pretty, I would say, dominant victory over Lingby Vikings, who we know are a capable team. We've seen them have their own moments as well. So hopefully another exciting map to come. Perhaps we could have the ability of actually having a 3-map series here as well. Definitely still on the table, on the cards. But here we go. It doesn't look like we're really going to have to wait very long for the actual action to kick off at all. At least the initial few shots being fired. Small bit of damage was taken by Kreese, but nothing really too substantial. And of course we could see the goal was to just try and sell out a little bit of a fake around mid, and for the moment it is that 4-man stack, so this looks like it's going to be the correct decision as they bring it towards B.
Absolutely, it will be. They do not have utility though, so this will be a contact play, and I love the way they're going to go about this. Although Orgles, the reaction is imminent, and they're already pushing down middle. I love the fact they are moving in for the kill, for the take of the flank. And this could be a double-edged sword they'll have to deal with here. And though, never mind, no double-edged sword when Jazar and Brody are able to deliver like that. Simple and easy as they take down 3 players without any sort of issue. Brody finding the hat trick even. And that shall be Orgles finding the pistol yet again. And I should mention, I guess, it felt like they never won the pistol on Mirage, but they took both actually, surprisingly enough. But yeah, this is definitely a great start once again. Orgles going to be picking up the pace. They did start off well on Mirage as well, so there is definitely doubt in everybody's mind with good reason if this will be enough, right? Like I said, I don't believe it until they actually win it. So yeah.
It's a good start at least for them, so we'll see if they're able to ensure they overcome the force buy first of all. If they do that, then likely to at least have themselves the 3-0 start, which is ideal. You want to try and have a chance to build up some economy here early on the CT side. You don't want to be just constantly left bouncing back and forth between buys and ecos. But yeah, the Deagles, the Tech 9 as well available for BQ, and a Mac 10 in the hands of Bowden. We've seen even just in the previous map what Lilmix are capable of, even with these weaker weapons. So I don't think it's going to be one that Orgles take for granted by any means. There we go, setting up for the mid-take it is for the moment. 2 players stacked around long, and then just 1 in the pit. So if they were able to actually get out on towards this area, they could have had a great opportunity. But they do end up, unfortunately, losing a couple players around mid. Actually, 3 players around mid. BQ is trying to lurk it, as well as taking quite a bit of damage on the player coming out of the apartment. So not looking too good for now, just trapped in towards the pit, and I don't think they're really going to be achieving too much more in terms of actually getting the bomb down. Maybe another kill or 2. Oh, indeed, the opportunity. That is a little bit dangerous from Ping. He's only able to get the 1, though, before Jazar ends it. But yeah, 2 kills at least being found. It's kind of the bare minimum you want out of one of those force buys to at least make it so it wasn't, I guess, a waste.
Yeah, like that you don't throw away those pistols for nothing. That's true, although in this case, perhaps if the plant had happened, that would have been, you know, the best case outcome in any case, though. Pistols and Kevlar back to square default, and should be easy for Orgles to finish it up. I mean, it's 5 SMGs they have. They're going to push down middle. I love that they're going to be having this relentless aggression to try and force Lilmix into hard submission, although Dobo, perhaps a little bit too eager, a little bit too confident. That was unnecessary. Already mid-control was something that they would be fighting for, be it against AKs or pistols, with a bit of a hard heart. And in this case, losing Dobo is not exactly a good start. Headshotted on Ping as well, kind of brings about a few memories from Mirage. I don't want to bring them up immediately, but I will not say that this is now an impossible round anymore for Lilmix, because if the stars align again, just a single 2-shot maybe isolating a player or 2, and they have themselves more than a good chance to take the round. Let's find out how it goes, actually. There's a smoke available, so they can smoke CT and move in towards the B site almost unopposed. Although this angle could favor Brody quite nicely. Indeed, it does. At least for one, make it two as well. And Cypher, there's an angle in smoke, or there's a gap in the smoke. It gives him the screen frag.
Yeah, overall, 2 kills already, though. Not a bad find. I think it's pretty low in health as well, so they do need to be careful here. They don't want to give anything else away. If they drop one more player, then a hefty reinvestment will be needed in this following round. And oh, this is winnable. This is definitely winnable. The Deagle is a scary weapon to contend with at points, and oh, you won't be able to quite connect those shots. Taser, long range on the UMP to end it, but yeah, as I said, 3 players fallen on the side of Orgles, especially since that was just an eco from Lilmix. They're going to be feeling fantastic. They're going to be feeling optimistic, I would imagine, now coming into this opening gun round. They've got all the nades pretty much that they could ask for. They don't have an op, but on the T side of Inferno, not something you want to pull out most of the time anyway. So here we go, with some weaker weapons being retained by Orgles and just bought up by them in general. There is a big opportunity for Lilmix off the back of this opening gun round to really get some momentum early on the T side and try and chain together a few rounds.
Yeah, a few in a row would be perfect. If that's all going to be possible, we're about to find out, though. Dobo trying to be cheeky, spraying into the upper window of Apps. Borden. I'm fairly certain his rifle had been spotted. Dobo also puts himself into this anti-flash setup. And yeah, the Molotovs would insinuate or would indicate that Orgles are aware what's coming their way, although Lilmix are yet to commit to a certain site or position. And Jazar, interesting decision. He has a UMP on him, but he rather sticks to the Deagle. And does he go for a wild spray in the smoke? It would be pretty dangerous to do so, yet not extremely uncommon. And deep smoke in Banana allows Orgles to have more control than ever before. Lilmix, they're taking their sweet time, with good reason, of course. There's no need to pressure Orgles until they're 100% certain they can do so without too many casualties. And Cypher, jump spotting. The call has been made, the rotation now coming in. It's a B play.
Yeah, no smoke immediately down. It will actually be a flash and nick to try and delay the crossover, so it gave some opportunity for Jazer to try and help out, but as you see, even with the gap, only able to get the 1 kill before he falls. Ping actually pulls one back on Kreese around the bottom of mid right there, so now they've got the 3-on-3. The bomb hasn't been planted too long, so a bit of time to position themselves for the retake, but Bowden, he doesn't care about time. The bullets just connect in 2 instant headshots, and honestly, at this point, Ping is screwed. He needs to just run away. And I don't even know if that's going to be allowed. It looks like it will. Yeah, the 3T is just going to be exiting through the T-spawn, obviously knowing that they have that control, or through the CT spawn, knowing that they have that control. Not wanting to risk giving anything else away. They had spotted Ping at bottom mid earlier on. The 1AK at least is going to be carried over, but obviously with the damage, as we had said, that had been done in those previous rounds, it's not going to be a perfect buy here at all for the CT side. Dobbo, he has 2150, so not going to be able to buy for himself. The same can be said for Brody. Cypher could just about pull out an M4 and body armor. Jazar, in theory, could drop over a rifle. We'll see if he decides to. Actually goes for the op instead. That's what I was thinking he would be a bit more likely to do. But he does have enough to drop off a mask still. No, not anymore. MP9 over instead.
I'll be honest, I like the MP9 plays here.
On Inferno especially,
exactly.
Yeah, a lot of close range positions.
Exactly, and it allows you to be a bit more mobile as well, right? You get an entry into Apps, you get an entry into Banana, you can, veer off quick corners and take quick fights. So it's not the worst idea they have, especially if you can preferentiate utility over that as well. Unfortunately here for Orgles, it starts off a little bit wonky. They do lose Cypher's HP, or they do lose a little bit of HP on Cypher, is what I meant to say. But look at this. Lilmix, they've read this quite well. They're pushing into long CT, and if they embed themselves deep into the CT lines, this could be a huge setback and a huge problem, although Jazar has an angle to work with. Kreese, it was a bit of a wishful thinking moment there for him, trying to be that aggressive, that pompous. Oh, Ping. Oh, Ping. Oh, Ping. Oh, give it to me, Ping. Yes, sir. Beautiful. He will be caught in the end, but that damage has been dealt, as one would imagine, best case scenario. Orgles, they should be able to handle this without too many issues anymore. Yep. Dobo as well. He's got an off angle. And that's it. That's going to be 4-1. Orgles this time around starting just like they did, if you recall, against... Actually, no, they started like this on Mirage, did they not? 4-1? Was that... or am I recalling Train
sure if
or Nuke
they did
against
go up
Excellency?
3-0, but I'm not sure if it ended up on 4-1. I can't remember. But yeah, on Train up against Excellency, yeah, they did go down 3-1, got their one round, and then ended up 8-1. So yeah, it would have been at this score at one point in time. But yeah, hopefully for their own sake, they'll be able to actually capitalize on having a bit of an early event. That was really weird when I went third person. I could see floating arms in the air. Oh, balls to the wall. They don't care. Brody specifically doesn't care. Getting an up for himself, but continued holding W with it, and will end up going down, unfortunately, to BQ. A 1-for-1 trade around Banana is something to be pretty happy with here for the T side, especially as they get another. Will they expect ping, though, is the question.
No way. No, they don't. Already we can see BQ ignoring it.
No, he's going to let a couple pass.
Oh, ping!
He goes for it immediately after the first one, and ends up struggling. Honestly, I figured he would have went for the player that was a little bit further away there first to have the easier time on the transfer, but making it a bit harder maybe than it needed to be. The man advantage for Lilmix, and as you can see, Dobbo coming in through the spawn, he's going to be spotted, and I think he may just want to back away and join up with Jazar at this point. Although I think Jazar was moving back because they weren't quite sure what the commitment was going to be. Yeah, it's on B, they know that, but they're also completely trapped in. They need to get that kill that's behind them if they want to save, and they need to get a kill in front of them if they want to go forward, and they need to do so before Bowden gets in position behind them. So yeah, really, everything was working against them. Absolutely screwed, pretty much. Dobbo is going to struggle to get anything done in this position, as would anyone really. Just trapped in the corner, and yeah, second round for Lilmix. That previous one was, the one before was very convincing from Orgles, so it did build them up a bit of money, but because of all the rounds prior to that, the fact that they had taken so much damage, they still didn't really have enough after reinvesting into the nades and such there just in that previous round. So they pull out what they can, but it is an M4, 2 MP9s, and 2 Deagles. I like the layout, the symmetry. The M4 in the middle, surrounded by the MP9s and the Deagle.
I would just wish that the utility was symmetrical as well. That would be perfect OCD status then for me. Yeah, it kind of aligns well. Again,
that's the main positive of this buy, I would say.
Well, most certainly I can agree to that, and in this case, I think everybody else will as well. Orgles, though, on the other hand, they are playing very ballsy towards Banana, and I love it. And, you know, it's Inferno, so obviously I love it. But one thing that I do kind of dislike here from Lilmix is that they're not picking up, that they're not pressuring Banana enough, in my opinion. They really are not pulling all the strings they could. Good nade, Jazar taking down Svedge ahead. And Lilmix, because they're leaving that much open space on Banana itself, they're letting themselves be potentially flanked, and worse than all, they are letting themselves potentially be absolutely destroyed in the process. Although, one thing that does not really strike me well here is what is Orgles thinking about the Banana take and having 3 players still there. Luckily, the rotation's coming through, and Dobbo finds himself a second. That was a perfect pick. How he got away with it, I don't know, but he did, and that matters. And Orgles right now, 3v2, it's a doable round for them. Even if Brody has no Kevlar, they have the offensive. They be pulling it off. Although BQ finds himself 2, and BQ leaving FaZe in a 1-on-2. What? Kreese?
Kreese.
What?
Probably sweating a little bit. Maybe his finger slipped off mouse 1 or whatever he uses to plant. Oh, he's closing in the distance. In theory, this could be dangerous. Oh, just about makes it into grave. The question is, with the peak coming in, yeah, he did spot it. Brody saw him jumping up. It's a free kill. And I want to say basically a free round. I mean, there wasn't much. They had to work for it, obviously, but they didn't have a very great investment into this round, obviously, on the side of Orgles. So being able to come out on top of it and steal it away when they only came in with a single rifle, some pistols, and SMGs, it is a big find. 5-2. It's over these past 4 rounds just been back and forth. Neither team allowed to build up momentum, economy, or anything of the likes. There's a bit there, at least for Lilmix, to get 3 rifles back into play. Should be a 4th as well, actually, onto Svedge ahead. So likely only Bodenmaster actually limited down to a weaker weapon. So yeah, definitely better than what Orgles had to try and fight back in with in that previous round. So the dream is still alive here for Lilmix. If they can bounce back again, the economy, of course, of Orgles would be in a very troublesome spot.
If I'm brutally honest, it was a bit of a weird afterplant, but, you know, then again, Lilmix, they were always a little bit weird with their plays in general, so it doesn't strike me too surprisingly there. But Orgles, as you said, yeah, they are able to secure themselves a vital round victor. Let's see how they work out against this B push on second box. There's a boost happening. Cypher can't line up the shots, though, as all 4 players are heavily tagged up. Quicks goes through the smoke, even finds Brody. As Jazar is there to reply almost instantaneously, he's able to bring it back to a 3v4. This afterplant, though, still very well set. Lilmix, a player in dark, a player in triple, and make it double triple setup. I like this. It bides more time, and above all else, gives an ample chance here for Lilmix to play the fake setup, right, where the CTs might not expect it, although the boost will make it even better, as they clean house almost effortlessly in this case in Orgles. They're going to be hurting from that. Their economy taking a bit of a deep dive.
Yeah, into an even worse position than what we've seen, obviously, when they were left onto the force by previously. At least then they had the M4 onto Cypher, they had a couple MP9s to actually back up the Deagles. This time it is all Deagles across the board, and very, very few nades to support it, including no defuse kit in play. So yeah, this one's certainly going to be a harder force fight for Orgles to win out, but we'll see what they're going to be able to find. A bit of damage exchanged, peeking towards middle, not something that they can afford to keep on doing on the side of Orgles. They were just hoping for an early pick. Not going to be able to find it, but we'll see. Definitely still a possibility that they can get something done. Cypher flashed in, actually spots 4 of them on Banana. Nearly had a chance for another, but the Deagle not quite resetting in time to actually get the kill. But the damage that's done towards Quicks as well has made this a very viable position for these Deagles to be able to certainly make it possible. And look at this Dobbo. He gets the near perfect timing, and I say near perfect because although he was coming up behind the apartments, just about was that player able to make it into the underpass. Did BQ not hear that drop? I don't think
I'm
so.
fairly certain he didn't, yeah. Dobbo did perhaps delay it long enough for BQ to be oblivious to that. And also, whilst running, perhaps not catching the steps off right behind him. Here comes the execution, though the setup is made. And well, let's see if it succeeds. Behind the fountain, there's a player. Ping will find one, but Sveji ahead. The transfer, it is pristine, as Dobbo will be caught on the flank likewise. 2 players very low, though. That will buy a chance here for Dobbo to perhaps prove his value, prove his quality. Although he's already pulling away. Never mind. He does not know how low the players are, so obviously he's not going to take the risk. He's going to save the Kevlar and the Deagle. It's much more it will be much more effective in the following round. But imagine if he's able to succeed on the flank. Not only does that potentially delay a Lilmix pushing in, but it also takes away one of their players. And additionally, it gives a chance to Dobbo to find more potentially with an AK. And afterwards, Lilmix perhaps in a bit of a chaotic stance, not sure if they should go, should they clear out flank, you know, all those questions being raised afterwards does put them at unease. And Orgles, well, Dobbo unfortunately can't get away with that flank. That's it. In the end, it comes down to a few simple timings, a few simple moments, as you say, near perfect flank. It doesn't work out as well as it could have. Lilmix, so far so good, and not only did they break the force buy, but they should be able to tie it up here as a full eco comes across.
Oh yeah, pretty much certain, I would say, that they're going to be able to tie up the score. I mean, we've already seen, at least in the previous map from Lilmix, they were able to win out on eco, so there's nothing to say that Orgles couldn't do the same, but on paper definitely should be the scoreline getting tied up, and at that point Lilmix starting to feel pretty good. Obviously they won't want to end it on 5, but they'll be in a good position to try and add another 1 or 2, similar to the position we've seen even for them on T-Set of Mirage, where if they add another round, they're great about how the half is gone. So it's all about the grind, and it's all about the ability here as well for them to actually stabilize the economy using this SMG, but they are going to walk into a bit of a mid-stack, so this is a bit scary. They are slowing it down even with the opening kills coming in. Really the hope there was for the CTs that as soon as kills came in from Lilmix that they try and just pounce forward and with that be fully committed in towards the kind of stack around long and mid. But it didn't happen, so only 1 kill so far being found for Jazar. The rest of the T is now moving back over towards B, where Dobbo, the man who had saved the Kevlar, is going to be tested. What the hell's going on? Kreese has somehow gotten himself a couple of headshots and, yeah, just given them the A-bomb site. And unfortunately, at the exact same time, Dobbo shot off a shot, so they know where he is. They know that they have control of that bomb site completely. And also that they can push in towards the spawn even at this point. Dobbo is about to be flanked out. Oh, he ended up getting 1 at least before going down.
Dobbo getting hit like Dobby, unfortunately in that case, without a sock. So so you can't reply. And this is... It's a bit concerning when I think about it from a grander perspective, right? First of all, it is the map choice of Orgles, so we should be expecting them to be a bit more dominant perhaps on it. And they've shown a great understanding of how to play the early beginnings here for the CT side, taking deep banana control, trying to effectively control it all the time. The idea behind it's obviously very basic, but very good, because it gives you the much needed map control. And in this case, Orgles, what I'm concerned about is the fact that, well, they are currently tied together with Lilmix. Their economy very dependent on the current round, and we both know, we've discussed this extensively throughout the past few weeks, that economy is everything for Inferno, and luckily they'll be able to keep it quite clean, as 2 frags without a single one returned. Whoa, Bowden. Damn. You cut it a little bit close there. Back to a 2-on-3, or make it 4.
Okay, yeah, then they end up just trying to walk in through the B smoke immediately afterwards and get destroyed by the MP9 up close. I understand. They were in the 2-on-4. They had just lost pretty much everything else elsewhere on the map, so hoping that the 2 players up close could maybe catch someone off guard by bursting through the smoke. It didn't work, obviously. We've seen how it went down. But a bomb plant would have been helpful, so I think that may have been one of the main goals of it. A drop should be going over towards Bowden. Oh, BQ. If he hadn't have bought up the full nades, he actually could have given one over, which would have been really helpful. But either way, a decent enough buy will be available here for Lilmix after the pause. And again, they'll be looking to just try and bounce back. That's all they need to keep on doing on this T side. If the rounds are traded back and forth as they have been overall so far throughout this half, then it's a position that Lilmix certainly can be happy with. The pause at the moment, I believe, is a technical. Do we know what the issue is?
I will double check, but yes, it is a technical, and it comes from the side of... give me a sec, I'm scrolling through and through. Lilmix, yes, it comes from the side of Lilmix. So we'll have to take a moment to see what is going on, and we'll find out soon enough what the issue might be. But either way, yeah, BQ could have dropped an AK to Bodden. In that case, they could have even afforded an AWP. Now the decision has to be made. Actually, no, they can still buy an AWP. Svejahead can drop it, can buy it, and Krace can drop an AK. So it's not the end of the world here. Even having a little bit of utility to work with. By the way, did I spot correctly? There was a Zeus bot, or was that just a bug on the HUD?
I actually didn't notice. I'll have a look around. There might be one on the ground, but yeah, it's not the most useful of weapons. It can be on the CT side on those weaker buys that like hide around apartments or top banana and steal a weapon, but obviously here now in the full gun round we know how important this one is, so they might have just tossed it away even if they had accidentally bought it up. But here we go. As I just mentioned, this is a very important round right now for both of these sides, especially Orgles. They need to keep on building up these rounds on the CT side to get themselves into a position that they can be happy with, and that's going to help out. Ping with the nade, the help of his teammates as well, just nade stacking banana. They end up absolutely destroying Svejahead, and then Bowden Master trying to see if he could return to trade ends up falling as well. And alongside those flashes now coming in, it has forced Lilmix back a little bit. Sure, Orgles don't want to stick around and contest banana, but Lilmix, they've already lost 2 players for that control, and they haven't even fully gotten it yet, so they are going to be forced to use a bit more utility in order to ensure that it is clear. As you see, even a flash being thrown out there. They do get the op at least, that's a positive, but Kreese is going to need to hit some ridiculous shots to give them the openings that they need to get back into this round.
I mean, Kreese has been hitting some shots on Mirage as well, so it's not out of the world of possibility here, yet BQ soloing it towards top middle. Hopefully he's not going to become barbecue. We'll find out soon enough. Oh, he's just been spotted. The shoulder has been seen. I can guarantee you that much. Ping is ready for this. This flash will be a dead giveaway. Oh, yeah. Ping. The angle just favors him on all accounts. He spots another player on middle, and that should be the 7th for Orgles. I think there's no doubt anymore where this is heading. And the economy's come crashing down like the 2008 recession. It's going to be Lilmix having to play with a save round here. Kreese actually, funnily enough, can drop an AK. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they reinvest. Like, that they actually pull up a full investment and just say, screw it, let's try it, see where it takes us to.
Maybe. Just because of the fact that Quicks and Kreese have both lived, it's certainly a possibility. Quicks doesn't have money to buy up in the next round anyway. But on the other hand, Kreese would, I believe. So we'll see what they decide on. Yeah, it looks like they're going to drop over. They're able to get the 1 AK obviously given over by Kreese, who had 3,000.
BQ as well, yeah.
And oh yeah, I didn't even realize BQ was able to get himself one out with body armor. So obviously lacking the helmet, but considering there's 4 AKs in the hands of Orgles, that's probably not going to be too big of a deal. So yeah, overall a pretty good buy here for Lilmix, as I said, to try and fight back in. We had pointed out that obviously if the trades go back and forth, if Lilmix are able to get another round on the board here, they do have a chance to still break that money down for Orgles. So they're not out of deep water yet. They definitely still have some pressure to overcome, and looks like they're going to be challenged around mid. The flash was absolutely fantastic. They didn't peek initially with it. Jazar just let but they don't initially clear the corner. Yeah, Ping had a big chance. Dobbo pushing up to the short smoke as well to help his teammate out. Will eventually fall himself, and now it comes to the 2-on-2. And they should have the bomb plant as well, because that rotation is actually coming in pretty slow, considering obviously they had just seen challenges around long. They don't know if they've lost control of that area, which they have kind of, but Lilmix haven't claimed it in the meantime. Instead, focused fully on the bomb site and focused fully now on playing out this 2-on-1 that they have
Cypher
the
has been
advantage
heard. Cypher has been heard as well, yeah, as you said.
Close. Oh, they have no idea now because he wasn't spotted there earlier on. They figured long probably still clear, and it wasn't. Cypher goes down. Lilmix, they get the 6th round, and although there is just about enough to maybe scrape together to buy here for Orgles, if that one goes poorly, at that point, Lilmix, they have a chance to come out with 8 even at the halftime.
That would be a devastating ending for Orgles. And just to point out, as you already said, the rotation's very slow. And one thing that I have to note, that I have to point out additionally, is when they were rotating towards the A site, the player from B, the anchor of B, which in that case I believe was Cypher, the last guy, actually pulled back towards the B site, towards Ruins, thinking it might be a fake A, and, you know, losing an additional 3 to 4 seconds. So really not doing himself any justice. Jazar with the op, though. One shot at a time, he saves the day. As Cypher tries to get the hell out of Banana, it will be Quick's close range to snuff him out. Though Ping wins the duel in towards B. No, actually towards Long, excuse me. I thought that was towards A apps, but it's actually towards Long Arches. Somehow Svedgehead deciding to be a bit of a hero. But we can hear, or can see Dobo's position in Boiler, and nobody checks it, nobody gives him a peace of mind. Sure, I guess that's what happens then.
I mean, given quite a bit of freedom right there around Boiler, and even manages to catch the attempt at a return frag, then eventually coming down. Dabo having a good time in this round, and on the other hand, Lilmix not so much. Kreese, he seems to be just falling back so that they can have a rifle to work with in this next round, but it will probably be the only rifle that they have. Having a look at the money elsewhere, they are going to be severely limited. He doesn't have the bomb, so that's why I was presuming he is trying to save, and indeed. But he needs to be careful. If he goes forward here on mid, he's probably just going to end up falling to Jazar, who's at the bottom of Banana. So, I mean, in theory, could have had a chance if the shot was missed to then push in and catch him, but Jazar's just not going to miss. He hits it 10 out of 10 times, I would say, a shot like that. Not too difficult, and indeed, 8 to 6 Orgles. If they can get up to 9 here, they're going to be feeling pretty good, and the possibility of that is quite high, considering, as I said, a limited investment comes in for Lilmix.
What I love about Jazar, when you look at its Twitter, it says, saving my team 1 op shot at a time, and it's so true, it could be more realistic in that sense. And in this case, well, Jazar double op, Brody and himself was wielding it. Takes a wild shot, though, this time not going to be successful in its stake. Still going to be able to find the second as he connects, I believe, a no-scope even. Borden, though! Borden picks up the op himself, finds the second, and it's going to be Banana hold taken care of by BQ. As Sping tries to be sneaky, gets in fast. He's been hurt all the way through middle, expected, and in the end, taken out. 2v4. Orgles, there's no option but to go for this, and a 1-on-4 now make it. Brody in a tough spot. That shall be the end. 8-7. Very successful first half for Lilmix, considering everything.
Yeah, I'd say tough was even a bit of an understatement right there, in that 1-on-4 gets peaked by everyone, and yeah, Lilmix, off the back of that weaker investment in the final round, are able to just rush in towards B and steal it away. They've come out with 7. Pretty similar to what we actually seen back on Mirage, of course, where Orgles did get off to a good start on the second half, but ended up in the end, of course, falling short. So we'll see if they can maybe do a little bit more here now to go ahead and close this out and perhaps take us onto a map number 3. If we get the train, we had seen it, of course. We'd seen Orgles up against Excellency just a couple hours back, of course, in the opening matchup, and they had their moments, but overall it was certainly a shaky performance. So I don't know what way Train would go if we do get to that point. It would certainly be interesting. But here we go. The second pistol round going live. The first one, I believe, did go the way of Orgles. So they'll be looking to try and add that second as well on.
That would be correct. And funnily enough, Orgles have had great success in pistols today. I mean, in totality, they're 5 and 8 in pistols. But in any case, let's see how this goes. Bodden finds himself the first as the B side is lost. The retake will come in through and through. Although Jazar, close range, the Glock is deadly as it can be. Although Quicks, well, he's going to definitely be very fast on his approach and his shots as Cypher is able to chime it down a notch. It is still going to be a 2-on-3. This pistol, not wildly required by either side, but definitely will help their approach and their overall take. And oh, Cody thinks there's somebody in the smoky wild sprays. Unfortunately for him, not even anybody close in. And as we said, pistol's not exactly the decision, well, the difference maker, but it helps out. It definitely helps out. By the way, I counted my pistols wrong. It would be in totality currently 7. Yeah, so now it would be 7 out of 8 for Orgles in pistols if you count both Excellency and Lilmix that they played against.
So overall, pretty successful in them. It's going to be worrying that this is the first pistol now that they've lost, and they still hadn't been having the most fantastic of halves. So how is it going to go now is the question. You said it's not the difference maker. It can be, but I think you need to kind of join it together with that second round force buy as well. It's kind of one thing at this point.
Yeah, it really has joined into a single entity, hasn't it? Like the pistol and the force buy round, and effectively even the anti-eco round. It's all become one thing, and in this case, bit of a waste of an M4 if you ask me. Just a single push down banana costing you a lot here.
That was very risky. Will they be able to retrieve it is the question. I think it's a little bit too deep to be picked up for now anyway by Bodden. He's just going to keep on going with the MP9, hoping to catch someone off guard, and he does. That's the bomb. Oh no, this is dreadful. Thankfully, they decided to give up the control for the sake of just Orgles and also the sake of right now the bomb being retrieved by Cypher, who had already been tagged down low as well. But look at him going.
What the hell?
Bodden had gone back to the M4. I don't know. This is crazy.
This is
Quicks
just
as well. Oh, he's going to catch him though, I think. Yeah, he's going to catch him just as they peek in on mid. Long range on the MP9 though. It's obviously not ideal. The name goes in with another MP9 up close on short, but the kill comes in for Jazer.
Quicks!
Can't quite make it around the corner. That was so close. Lilmix.
Nail biting.
Like, I'm sorry, but first of all, it looked like Lilmix were the ones who were on the force buy. And the one M4 they did have, they just charged down banana, not once but twice.
Yep. It's just weird, isn't it? It's like that's I think Hawka presented the good video just a few days ago with how pistols have become pretty much not as meaningful and definitely lost their kind of charm in a way as to how the T's, if they get the plant and a few kills, they can go for like 3-4 AKs. That's what we saw previously, and then you ask yourself, who the hell even won the pistol? But in this case, Bodden and Craze, yeah. I guess that works. Lilmix, very aggressive. They get away with it because it's an anti-eco they work with, and it's not hard to do so, but let's see how they handle themselves against a proper full buy. Jazar on the up, that's definitely going to be a big challenge for the SMGs, to say the least.
Oh, definitely. But if they can close in the distance using maybe flashes and such, as if they are going a bit more aggressive, which they are looking to do so, then it could actually be maybe a bit of an issue for Jazar. He could potentially be overwhelmed at this point. Cypher is even being taken out. He's not really going to be able to... I was going to say he's not going to be able to do too much here unless he gets help, but he did have Ping in behind. Doesn't even need Ping to help out. He just keeps on taking the fights one-on-one pretty much. Quicks is left alone. Yeah, I don't know. They needed to just swing together there if they were going to go for it. It seemed like they were half in and half out on the play.
Kids, remember, either full pull out or don't pull out. don't do it halfway through because that's just bad. It's just bad. Just do it or don't do it. Either way, Lilmix,
Don't
very
listen to
weird.
that advice. I just want to say.
Oh, come on, man. We have to have a bit of a joke there. In
Yeah,
any
but
case,
you're talking to the Twitch chat. They've never been the brightest. They might take that serious.
Oh, yeah. I forget that. Twitch chat, used to be a part of them, so I get it.
I typed in chat a while ago. I'm part of the Twitch chat. I was insulting myself as well. But 10 to 8, no, 10 to 9 rather. Orgles, they have their opportunity to try and, off the back of that round from Jazer, now start really pulling
was that
their
a
way
smoke
back
shot?
into this. But Quicks, yeah, he wants revenge. Actually hits the leg. Clearly managed to do a 360 and pull out the USB. That would have been fantastic. But he's still done plenty of damage. He has kept this in a very good position for Lilmix. Got their jump around the corner. What is going on? What is this approach to CS?
Chris, this is not Valorant. This is not Team Fortress. This is not Quake. Don't jump before you shoot. Or don't jump in general if you shoot, so...
Get the idea. He tried to jump to avoid the off
Yeah,
shot, but
yeah.
as we seen, he wasn't looking. He was able to then just turn around. Well, of course, at that point, the bullets were still inaccurate and just have a free kill. The 2-on-2, it's still not a bad spot for the and the nade. Yeah, that is perfect. The touchdown on Cypher, and Brody in on the bomb site is going to be caught then by BQ moving in from the apartments. 11-9. Lilmix, they don't let the lead slip away. They go ahead and extend it instead. It got a little bit dicey there around long. I'm waiting to see how the hell chat's going to react to that one.
You heard my deep breath intake because that was just... I was like, the nade there decided the round 100% because BQ was lined up by Jazar's AWP, and if the nade would not have finished him off, there was a good chance that could have gone, production did crazy dirty here. Like, very dirty, but, in this case deserved. His preemptive angle shootout or pre-fire definitely had a good idea behind it. Just the way he went to execute it was a bit wonky. In any case, 11-9. As you said, the lead will be deepened further and Cypher will be caught. Oh, wait. Ooh. Fair enough. BQ, good night.
Sorry, still left a bit speechless by the previous round, but yeah, 1-for-1 trade here early on. Not a bad spot for Orgles, considering they do have the banana control now off the back of it. They can afford to send the majority of the players over towards mid, try and get control around brackets, and of course just pretty much open up the entire map if they are successful in managing to get out towards middle. Although they end up taking some damage already, the initial op shot being connected, the nade then comes in and tags down both Dobbo and Brody, so yeah, kind of being chipped away at the moment. Orgles beginning to struggle here to smoke deep in on long, but it doesn't push Bowden away. He decides to go forward, which is going to get him this info real early, which negates this fake attempt completely because they know that it is the fake. They know.
Yeah, they're well aware of it. And with the auto shotgun in the angle that it is, without a smoke, this is a death trap for Orgles. They're going to be pushing in. Good flash, at least blinding Craze, but it doesn't stop him from still getting a shot off. 33 seconds. Jazar, you should not be challenging this if you cannot fight it. And Quicks will take the opportunity at least, as he did tag him, but playing it a little bit close there, and definitely Craze, the risk does outweigh the reward at the end. Well, the reward outweighs the risk at the end there when he jumped over towards CT. But still, 12-9. Pistols and Kevlar. And if you recall on Mirage, we said we saw Orgles push some straight up takes towards B, straight up takes towards outpit. Let's see if they do the straight B rush. Fallen flash, smoke into deep CT, nades over. How far did they push here? Well, the answer is not far. The Molotov stops them in their trap. Did I? Yeah, I saw a P90. My eyes didn't deceive me, did they? Yeah, it is a P90. Okay.
It can certainly be effective, especially up close here on B. If they try and run through the smoke, that P90 waiting on the other side is going to potentially just obliterate them. And indeed, Free's already getting two, does loads of damage to Jazer as well. And in the meantime, as Dobbo tries to retrieve that P90 for himself, Quicks just pushes in with the CZ and ends that round. 13-9, a bit of damage being found, but they lost, one rifle and a P90. Yes. I don't think they're too worried. Denying the bomb plant as well from going over towards Orgles, which is pretty important to limit them a small bit. I mean, they still got all of their nades pretty much, but if they wanted the op out onto Jazer, that would have been massively helpful. He would have been able to actually get it with the Kevlar, or at least with the body armor for himself. Instead, limited to the AK. We'll see if he'll be able to pull off those incredible 4Ks without the scope.
Well,
God, just the confidence right now.
It's booming for Lilmix, and you can tell that Craze comes in hot, takes down Jazer. I'm fairly certain that was through the smoke. And all of a sudden, Orgles is literally losing ground underneath their feet. A clean round for Lilmix. Dean, I will only say this. Orgles seemingly lost their footing, and they have yet to find it. They are on a few rocky... they're on rocky ground, if I can say so, and they're slipping, and quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be... Okay, you've got to be hopeful because we are seeing good moments from them,
Yes.
which keeps in your mind like, okay, yeah, they just need to work on some stuff, and then perhaps we will be seeing much better performances from them overall. But yeah, they definitely need to have a look back at these games and see what's gone wrong, see what they can improve on, and what can actually help them go over these finish lines. Because you can see that they have the right ideas a lot of the times. They have the players who can frag, but at the moment, Lilmix just looking all that bit more impressive. BQ seems to be in trouble right now. Indeed, actually gets caught coming back out of Boiler. I thought he might have instead just fell back through the apartments over through balcony, but no, trying to challenge around mid. That's a very risky play considering obviously Kreese, he wasn't even in through library at that point. There was no one else ready around that A bomb site. So as he goes down and as Kreese goes down as well, the round is confirmed. Orgles, they're going to put another one on the board. Double digits going to go their way, but can't really afford to drop another round unless they just want to try and play for an overtime at this point. So we'll have to see if they can manage to really keep this pace up.
That's the thing, right? They cannot afford to drop too many, or not too many, just the one effectively, or they will be in dire trouble. And Bowden, as he saves this up, most likely the rebuy will be quite strong. As far as I can tell, only Svejahead might require a drop. Even then, not necessarily. Craze actually could be dropped if they want him to have full utility to support a potential banana take or apps take. But I want to see what Lilmix will be doing in this one round. So far, they've been super aggressive on their CT side, continuously pushing down banana, continuously taking apps control if they can, and just fighting on all accounts. And I would like to see perhaps a bit of a different approach for a change, since they are putting themselves at high risk, in high risk scenarios with that kind of performance. And not gonna say it's without due cause, but still, they are continuously doing the same thing. And at one point, Orgles have started to predict that. Though Bowden, yeah,
wall banged.
No, I'm not sure if it was a
Pretty
wall
sure
bang.
he got wall banged. He got naded twice and wall banged. That is pretty unlucky. I mean, it could have been the boost, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Twist on his off as well has been finding good success around mid. Only gets one in this round, but still giving them a decent enough spot. BQ in Boiler again, similar to the previous round. But if he takes this more passively, if he just hangs on in there for now, I was going to say alongside his teammate in pit, they can hold down A. It was actually being brought into the spawn, as you said, though. Yeah, Kree is able to line up two of them. And then Jazar's left all alone. He wants to, again, rethink the decision of which bomb site this is heading to. And he may be able to have the chance to actually catch the one-on-one right now in towards pit. Oh God, Kreese. He's in trouble.
Wow.
Likely to fall. The issue is once he gets this first kill, there's three other players that... Oh no! Jazer!
Oh, then he hits the no-scope!
Normally, yeah, I didn't even notice that initially. Was that the wall bang no-scope?
The wall bang no-scope, yeah.
Finish it though. 15-10. Map and serious point for Lilmix.
The one good thing Orgles have going for themselves is the fact they have enough money for at least a few AKs, potentially 4. In this case, Cypher's going to have to sacrifice head armor, yep. Or helmet, but my God, this is serious point. This is the potential last round. Lilmix, they drop one, but then they seemingly bounce back like it's nobody's tomorrow. And well, 15-10 currently in this position that Lilmix are in is perfect. It really sets them up for a clean ending. Dopo has an angle on bottom this time around, so Lilmix perhaps, as I said, bit aggressive, right? They've been a bit excessive with their aggression, definitely sometimes overstating themselves, but being a bit too confident. Ooh, what? Look at BQ? Yeah, it's like, what?
Not sure what's happened there.
He was standing on stairway watching second mid, but there was a T player that came from T side apps that literally stared him in the back for like a good few seconds. It's such a weird way of holding second mid, if I can say so. BQ deciding to just
again when
crouch
you're alone
stairs.
as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, especially when you're alone.
Yeah, we see. I'd mentioned it before. Even the previous round they lost was partly due to the re-peeking towards mid from the apartments when alone. So it's been interesting. This one you can't really put on them though. They had already lost out on a few players by that point, unfortunately. But yeah, 15-11 Orgles. They fight back with another round, but considering how back and forth it has been, we've never really seen Orgles starting to take multiple convincing rounds in a row. So it really needs to be a trend-breaking, I guess, increase in performance right now from Orgles. At least both weapons are going to be saved. That's a positive here for Lilmix, of course. Will they buy up? Maybe. They have 6,000 on Bowden, and Kreese can drop one over as well. Quicks could drop over an SMG then to BQ or to Svedge ahead, whichever one doesn't get the actual rifle dropped over. So yeah, I mean, they're going to go for it.
Yeah, why not? Maybe they can still succeed. They do have a few rounds buffer. In this case, let's say, losing this, it will draw them up to 13, but it's not impossible that they can still close it out 13-14th. And look at this, be aggression coming out. Bodenmaster, excuse me, this time around will find himself at least an opener once again. Cody as well, I think he got tagged there. And Ping will come out to refrag. Unfortunately, Craze is ready. And Quick's revealing his position, so it does tell to Orgles there are 2 players still on B, meaning a totality of 3 were presented. And the pop flash over the edge will bring Dobo down. Oh, that's the bomb! Oh, look at where it dropped. Are you kidding me?
I don't think they realize it's on the wall, or they could just jump up and probably get it.
This is the unluckiest of moments as I've ever seen one have. Like, the fact that Craze sees the bomb, and now the only thing he has to worry about here is literally not dying to random shots through the smoke. And speaking of random shots through the smoke, he lines up the one on Brody. Now Cypher, I hope he's not Cypher from the Matrix. We know how he ended up being. It's a 1-on-4, and unfortunately he seems to be the Cypher from Matrix, as that will be the end. 16-11. Ladies and gents, Lilmix improved the result of the second map for 1 round further.